on radio, on YouTube, and on your smartphone. This is TTUTA Speaks. We invite all listeners to tune into I-95.5 every Thursday morning at approximately 7:25 for TTUTA Speaks, a program which highlights local, regional, and international issues affecting the education sector. Good morning to all listeners and welcome to TTUTA Speaks. I'm your presenter, Barry Joel Desaine. Codenamed Operation Neptune, today marks the 80th anniversary of the largest seaborne invasion in human history. Often referred to as D-Day, the invasion led to the liberation of France and laid the foundations for ending the Second World War. It has been said that World War II had a profound impact on nearly every facet of Trinidad and Tobago's political, economic, social, and cultural life, but it could be argued that the Great War, World War I, and its aftermath probably had an even more profound impact. One of the heroes of that First World War era, Captain Arthur Andrew Cipriani, is the subject of today's segment. When the Great War started in July 1914, Trinidad and Tobago was still under British colonial rule. Within 2 months, the Trinidad Breeders Association met to discuss how they could assist in the war effort. It was at this meeting that Arthur Andrew Cipriani gave his first public speech proposing the purchase of 100 Cavalry horses for the British Army.
I think it practical for us to send 100 cavalry horses. The very best we can do is to try to attain that end, and if we fail, we will still have the satisfaction of knowing that we had tried to do our duty.
Supported by the Port of Spain Gazette, Cipriani subsequently attempted to convince the imperial government that the British West Indies colonies had men who were just as loyal to the throne as other members of the Commonwealth and should be allowed to play their part of the war as loyal members of the British Empire. However, racism kept non-white West Indians out of the army, as the governor of Trinidad and his officials considered as absurd the idea of West Indian troops being sent abroad to fight for the empire. Nevertheless, Cipriani persisted in agitating for a West Indian regiment to join the war effort, and by June 1915, his proposal was accepted. He then convinced the Port of Spain Gazette to turn its office into an unofficial recruiting center and personally appealed to locals to join the West Indian Regiment.
I was born and bred in this colony and was reared in it from childhood to youth and from youth to manhood. I have shared your sorrows and your joys, and I appeal to you in the name of the King to enlist, and I do so irrespective of class, color, and creed.
Within 2 days, Cipriani managed to recruit over 1,000 volunteers. During the war, he rose to the rank of captain and commander of the British West Indian Regiment. Historian Professor Bridget Brayton notes that because of his stoic defense of his men against racism and discrimination in the British Army, his popularity grew exponentially. After the war, many Trinidadians faced unfair labor policies, low wages, inflation, economic depression, and racism. Returning soldiers were not treated like heroes. Many were unemployed and became extremely bitter due to their neglect. Captain Cipriani began looking after the interests of these men and was subsequently elected the president of the Soldiers and Sailors Union. Cipriani also joined the Trinidad Working Men's Association, TWA, which advocated for the working class and agitated for higher wages. Through the TWA, he participated in a series of meetings campaigning for labor justice and awakening the political consciousness of the population. Subsequently, dock workers, railroad workers, city council employees, and electric and telephone company employees all went on strike within the first few months of 1919. Employees of the Trinidad Lake Asphalt Company and Indian rural laborers on several sugar plantations later joined them, with estate workers in Tobago also marching in the streets. By December 1919, virtually the entire colony was on strike. Much more can be said about the great contributions of Captain Arthur Andrew Cipriani, but time does not permit. It should be noted in closing that the imperial government responded to the unrest of 1919 by deploying troops to Trinidad and Tobago, arresting 99 strikers and convicting and imprisoning 82 of them. The following year, local authorities also enacted laws which were effectively designed to stop protests, strike actions, and the public meetings of the Trinidad Working Men's Association. One of those laws, still applicable today, has become rather controversial as it appears incoherent with the ideals of democratic free speech. It is none other than the Sedition Act of 1920. You have been listening to TTUTA Speaks. To contact us, please dial 610-3850. That's 610-3850. Or you may email our president at president@tuta.org. That's president@ttuta.org. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where recordings of interviews, events, and other materials are uploaded regularly. Like us by giving a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and subscribe.